I've got 3 drivers here that come in under £300, but does that mean that these drivers aren't any good? Let's find out. So the 3 drivers in question are the new Wilson Launchpad driver, the Mizuno STX driver, and an Inesis 500 driver. We've got one at £149, one at £299, and another at £289. Now, drivers nowadays are getting more and more expensive. We see the likes of TaylorMade Stealth up at $469, the Callaway driver $469, pings into that $400, Cobras $399. So buying a cheaper driver, does that mean that we're not going to get as much for our money? Does it mean they're not going to perform as much? Let's take a look at these drivers and find out a little bit about them and who they would actually suit. So let's talk price and tech firstly. Because it's under £300, Inesis coming in at $149, the Wilson Launchpad coming in at $289, and the Mizuno STX being the most expensive at $299. So because of those price points, does that mean that you're not getting as much tech as you may get in one of the more expensive drivers around that £450 price mark? Well, yes and no. What we see shaft-wise in the Wilson and the Mizuno is that they've got even flows from the Project X lineup. When we get into the Inesis, it's actually got a UST element shaft that was put into a lot of drivers a couple of years ago, which was one of the big shafts that we saw out on the market. When we get into the heads, that's where we start to see a little bit of a difference. We see from the Wilson and the Inesis that they come in a fixed loft, so you can't change the loft in them. As where when we get into the Mizuno, you do have the ability to change the neck, so you're able to move the loft up and down depending on what loft you buy it in. When we get into the heads and we talk about movable weights, none of them have the ability to do that. We see the Inesis has pretty much a sort of plainish looking head at the bottom, not showing any movable weights, but it does have more of a draw bias, and that's the theme throughout all of the drivers. And as we move up through them, we see a little bit more tech getting involved to help that draw bias. When we get into the Wilson one, we actually see an offset head with more weighting down towards that heel to help you with that more draw bias shape. When we get into the Mizuno though, what we're seeing is more of a carbon construction and a weight placed into the heel. So again, that is going to help with that more draw biased head as you're going through. Now, what we're seeing really is from the Inesis up to the Mizuno, we just get a sprinkling more of technology as we go up towards that £300 price point. Guys, if you want to win one of the Inesis drivers as well, I'm going to be giving one of these away. All you need to do is be a subscriber to the channel and leave me a comment down below, and I'll pick someone at random and I'll be able to ship this driver anywhere in Europe. So just leave a comment down below, be a subscriber. Let's get back into the video. So performance-wise, what do we see? Well, obviously the drivers aren't made for me. They're more aimed at a player who is maybe looking to target a slice, or maybe actually just get into the driver market. You might just be starting to learn to hit it, and you don't want to be going out there spending the big bucks on your driver. So that's where these come in under that £300 mark. That's why we see as well a little bit less tech. But that being said, the performance of them geared towards the player who's maybe just starting to learn to hit a driver actually is great. We see quite a lot of high launching shots. So if you are learning or struggling with driver, height is something that sometimes lacks in those shots. So I do see that they pop them up in the air well. Also with that draw bias technology in there, not really seeing for myself that a lot of the balls would go right and almost struggle to keep it going left too much, and I would have to try and hit too much of a fade. But if you're a slicer, that's great. The technology that's in the head is helping you close that face a little bit and starting to eradicate that slice shot. Now, what is good from the performance maybe when we go up into the higher price point of the Mizuno is that you would maybe have the ability to change your flight as you go through. So maybe you start learning with it and then you're able to alter the loft with that changeable neck and not have to go and buy a new driver if you've managed to get rid of that slice as you've gone through. So that's one thing to bear in mind. If you just give it a little bit more in terms of price, you might get a little bit more longevity out of the club just being by able to change a little bit more there. But overall, performance-wise, I would say very good. For that person who's looking to get into the driver market and stop that slice, this is perfect. And that brings me on to my final category. So are they good golf clubs? Yeah, they are. They're great for that player who's looking to get into the driver market but doesn't want to spend the big bucks. Now, if you go in at the cheaper end, we're going to see that you've not got the most adjustability and you've probably got the least technology, but you've still got a decent shaft in there and it is a good driver. As well, if you just go up a little bit more towards that higher end of that pricier, under the £300 barrier, we're going to see that you do maybe get a little bit more technology for that money. But overall, great drivers and worth having a look at. Don't feel that you have to go and spend those big price tags to get a good driver because these cheaper ones won't perform. They definitely will, and they're worth trying out. What I would say, guys, as well, maybe a little secret tip, is look at last year's models of stuff as well, because when I've scoured around, you can get some good price clubs that are last year's ones that are still going to help you out if you're looking to get a new driver in the golf bag. Guys, comment down below as well. Are there any other drivers that you want to see me test, have a look at under that £300 barrier? As well, remember, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to enter that giveaway to win one of the Inisis drivers, and I'll see you in the next video.